Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Fighting's Final here on the Edge of Philly Sports tonight with your boy, Matty B. Had to wait 6 games to host on my own, and this is the game I got. Yeah, 4-1, the Phillies lose tonight in the series finale against the Reds in a game that took about 7 hours to start, later than it was supposed to, and it just concluded a few minutes ago, and we waited around all day and night to watch the Philly offense continue to splutter out of the gate, as tonight, no different, 4-1 in a rainy, cold, wet Citizen Bank Park. Thankfully, the Phillies' opening homestand has ended. The Phillies will now get on the road to Washington and to St. Louis, respectively, before coming back home next week to play the Pirates. But 4-1 is your loss. Zach Wheeler, you don't like wasting good quality starts, and the Phillies have actually gotten really good quality starts all but one time so far this year, and Wheeler wasn't as dominant today as he was in Game 1 or the opener, but he was definitely Wheeler-esque as he kept the Phillies in it. Kind of was a victim of some shoddy defense there that cost him some runs there in the third inning. But yeah, I mean, you really cannot complain about the starting pitching. It's the other aspects of this team that you can start complaining a little bit about. And by the way, I'm going to give you a disclaimer here. I repeat, not throwing in the towel or saying that it's all over or burn the boats or anything, but there is some very concerning trends with this team right now, and we're going to get into some of them as it relates to this game tonight. So let's go check the comments as they're coming in. Yo, Dan, what's going on, man? Oh, geez. Dan, you're actually saying something else than yo. I thought that's all you knew how to say, but he says Phillies could beat Rangers. No idea, he said last year. Are you saying the Phillies couldn't beat the Rangers last year? I don't know what you're saying. But if that's what you're saying, I agree 100%. Jeff, hey, what's up, man? Wheeler pitched an awesome game, but he never gets any offensive support. No, he did not get any offensive support, and he didn't get any defensive support either tonight. But he pitched, as I mentioned, not dominant, not game season opener dominant Zach Wheeler, but definitely Zach Wheeler. And it is a shame. It is a shame. And all the starters so far this year, with the exception, of course, of the Nola game, have really given the Phillies a fighter's chance to win games, and they just offensively can't seem to get it going here. Aside from what happened last night with Bryce Harper and his 6 RBI, 3 home run night, the Philly offense has been nothing, absolutely nothing to write home about 6 games into this season. Zach says Nick is utter garbage. 8 left on base, wasted Wheeler again. Rojas couldn't hit water. If he fell out of a boat, Bohm should have pinch hit again. Lefty with the bases loaded. Yeah. I mean, can we dissect that, Zach? I will dissect that for you if you like. Nick is utter garbage. Castellanos is not playing well. It was crucial for him, and I've said this at the beginning of last season, and I said at the beginning of this season, way back in the winter. Nick Castellanos is a hinge pin to this offense. He is really not the gear that makes it go, but he is definitely part of what is going to make it go. And right now, he is not playing well. Offensively, he just doesn't seem to have his rhythm, his timing. He's back to chasing pitches again. At what point, though, that's a good question, Zach. Do we kind of say, do we have some buyer's remorse here? Is this just not working for us? And we know he's a streaky hitter. I'm not going to go down that road of it's cold out, because it's cold out for both the Reds and the Phillies tonight. It's cold out for about majority of the baseball teams playing in North America right now. So I'm not going to use that as an excuse. He needs to be better. I mean, he and the rest of this lineup need to be better. I agree. 8 left on base. Yeah, absolutely. 8 left on base. And we'll break some numbers down a little bit later on in the show. Yeah. And Rojas. Rojas, I mentioned this the other day. Or no, actually, I haven't mentioned this the other day. Listen, guys, you know what? I'm gonna pause right here because I need to bring up something real quick, and we'll get back to the show. I'm sorry, I got to hop on a soapbox. So, this show here is my baby, right? It was mine. I conceived it in 2022. I sat up with it by myself, through many sleepless nights in 2022. I nurtured it. I made sure that I wiped its nose when it needed to, and I took it all the way its first year of existence. Now, 3 years later, I'm an afterthought here on the program. I'm just part of the crew because apparently the show has grown up and left me behind. Just like all kids do to their parents, right? They don't need you at a certain point, and they leave you behind, and they make you host the 6th game into the season by yourself because they're too good for you now. But I'm just kind of venting a little bit. But listen, I'm getting off track, so let's get back to some of the things. Remember our great sponsors here on the Edge of Philly Sports: Cherry Injury Law, Cherry's Tickets, Dolan's. I should know them by now, Philly Sports Strips, and of course our newest sponsor here on the program, the Streetlight Kitchen and Bar there in Drexel Hill, which of course we had that very special event coming up here in April. So make sure that you're checking out here in April, here in like 4 days. This Sunday we'll be live down there, and I'll be there. That's right, you'll be able to see me in the flesh. So if you have any kind of personal grudges you want to get out of the way, I'll be there taking all comers. So bring it on. But yeah, I put to Zach's points. He's got good points there. If they beat the Diamondbacks in 7, yes. So you're telling me, Daniel, that the Phillies would not have beaten the Rangers in the World Series last October? That's sort of a mute point right now, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you're right. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you're wrong. I'm going to tell you that it just never materialized because the Phillies couldn't beat the Diamondbacks. So to say what they could have done or could not have done against the Rangers is irrelevant to me because it was a matchup that never happened. Al says, I know there is more pressing issues, but Castellanos' defense has digressed. Yes, it has digressed. But you're right, there's more pressing issues because you can make up for shoddy defense at the plate, and he's not doing that either. So let's work on one thing at a time. He was brought here for his bat, and we have yet really to see that bat in the time that he's been here consistently. And this year is starting out to be no different than any other. Still can't accept the comment from the other. You're about paying attention all season. Still can't accept his comment from the other year about paying attention all season. Yeah. Again, you have every right. Zach, listen, if you guys want to vent with me, and that's fine. I agree. But we're 6 games into this thing. The Phillies are actually off to a better start this year than they were last year. They were 1-5 at this point. So yes, 2-4 is an improvement over the last year's start. You gotta pull all these things together. He says, "Yo, Zach," and they're gonna start having a little conversation here. That's all good. Don't you make the schedule? Al, hey, listen, man, you don't got to tell people that, all right? Don't worry about where the schedule comes from. And then Mr. Rudy Poo, who I've been hearing your comments on the show saying this team stinks. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you you're wrong, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you you're right because this season has not even begun. It is so totally in that infancy period, just like the show used to be when I used to be in charge of it, and it has grown out of my control, and that's what we hope that the Phillies do this year as the season rolls on. This team has no leadership, but these dudes look lifeless in the dugout. Yeah, listen, it seems that way. I'm sure 47 degrees and raining doesn't help things, and I get it. You know, it's not an excuse. I've said I'm not going to use it as an excuse. They look a little bit lifeless. Yes, they do. Offense at the plate, they look extremely lifeless. But again, 6 games. I mean, are you wanting to throw the towel in at 6 games? I don't. Am I concerned? Yeah. Are there trends here that have not been fixed from 2023? Yeah. Is there some concerns? As I said that already? Yeah. But they stink. Let's wait till the season kind of unravels to find that out. But right now, they are not playing well. Right now, they are a good team playing poorly. And that's just what it is. I don't have any magic. If I had the magic recipe to change that and turn this to a 4-2 start, other than a 2-4 start, I would not be sitting here in front of you people right now. Be off to bigger and better things. Not to say that this is not rewarding and that you people don't deserve my best, which you do. But if I could fix a Major League Baseball team with a snap of the fingers, I'd be making some bank right now. So I don't have the answers for you. All I can tell you is through trends and through what we've seen in the past, things have to get better. I mean, they're just too talented of a team for this to continue on. or not. I don't know. I can't sit here and prognosticate whether or not you guys are right and I'm wrong, or who's right and who's wrong. It's 6 games into a 162 game season. There are some alarming trends that have not been addressed. Absolutely, 100%. It's like literally I'm looking at the the same thing from 2023. I'm staring at it again here, but let's get into all that tonight. Al says they currently stink. Yeah, they do. They got hot later in the season per usual. Yeah, they did. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen this year, but that's what's happened. But you're right. We got to kind of focus on what's in front of us. I believe the teams have figured them out. I have 88 wins, Braves win the division. That's what I see. Dave, how can you see 88 wins 6 games in? How can you see 88 wins against after playing 2 opponents? They were 1-5 at this point last year. 1-5, and I guarantee you, if I fire up the magical tape machine from last year, I'll be hearing the same things from a lot of you then that I am now. And they won 90 games and went on, to almost win the World Series, almost get back to the World Series. You might be right, but you might be wrong. Nobody can sit here 6 games into a season and tell me that they're going to win 88 games, or tell me they're going to win 90 or 97. Nobody can do that. The Pittsburgh Pirates last year got off to this amazing start up through June. Then they fell off the face of the earth in the second half of the season. The Cincinnati Reds as well got off to an amazing start last season and fell off the face of the earth. Talk to me at the end of June. Talk to me at the All-Star break. Don't talk to me on April the friggin' 4th about the status of a team's season. It's not relevant at this point. Rojas needs to be sent down. That message can be sent. Listen, Mr. Rudy Poo, I want to get into Rojas a little bit later on, but you got a point. But I'm going to counterpoint that. Topper just said Castillo is still adjusting to the new school. Did he really? I really should have watched the post game. Are you serious? Did he really say that? Why would you tell people that? Why would you tell people that he's getting adjusted to the new scoreboard? Well, so I thought players weren't supposed to be watching scoreboards. All right, yeah, that's utter ridiculousness. For those of you who are against Rob Thompson, which I know there's about a bunch of you out there. Let's get into this game. So as I mentioned, originally a game that was scheduled for 1:05 was pushed last night to 4:05. Then around 3:30, it got pushed to a TBD, but it was going to happen because apparently the teams did not want to give up their day off. They both had tomorrow off. They didn't want to give that day up. So they were going to do everything they could to get the game in. Then there was a report circling around that they had to play it tomorrow because the bank was booked for Thursday. I mean, what the hell does that mean? The bank was booked. Were they hosting another team, or is there another event going on down there? So I don't know what report you want to believe. Cincinnati's only time into Philadelphia this year. I mean, that's not a big deal. They could schedule it on a mutual day off later in the season for both those teams, but they got the game in. First pitch was around 8:05 or something like that. And then, as I mentioned, the game just got over. And mercifully, the 6-game homestand with it went as the Phillies lost tonight 4-1. Before we get into some more meat and bones of this, let's talk some cherry injury law, folks. If you have workman's compensation, or if you have some motor vehicle accidents, personal claim, or criminal law issues, call Dave Cherry at 610-565-0300, and Dave will take great on care of you as he always does. So give Dave a call if you have any of those issues going on. On to the box score, shall we? Because I love talking box scores. Reds would finish with 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors. Phillies with 1 run, 6 hits, 2 errors. Offensively, it's a bad state of affairs when I'm about to say that Kyle Schwarber right now is your offensive shining star for the Philadelphia Phillies. He was 1 for 3 tonight. Did have the RBI on the nice laser shot home run that he hit. The only run the Phillies were able to produce. He walked once, only struck out once tonight. He's batting currently .280. I need to screenshot this because obviously if Kyle Schwarber's hitting and that's another thing. Kyle Schwarber's hitting and nobody else is. And that's just a damn shame. That's a damn shame. Trey Turner continues his early season troubles, 0 for 4 tonight, average down to 217. Bryce Harper, aside from that great night he had last night, did get that infield single to start the game, but then that was all for him, 1 for 4. JT 1 for 4 for JT. Bryson Stott 0 for 3. He hasn't really found his way yet this early part of the season. Castellanos 0 for 2 officially, but he did have 2 walks. and his average is down to a 150. Looks very clueless at the plate, and I will definitely agree with you. Brandon Marsh 1 for 4, up to 333 on the season. Whit Merrifield 1 for 4, and kind of got the rally going, I thought, in the ninth inning with the nice 10-pitch or 9-pitch at bat where he led off with the single, or he got the 2-out single. Of course, was left to die. And then the aforementioned Johan Rojas 1 for 2, got a hit tonight, raising up that average to 0.67. As the Phillies, again, offensively just could not, again, get things going. As for the Reds, Jonathan India, 1 for 2, or 0 for 2, with 2 strikeouts and a walk. Encarnacion Strand, 1 for 4, but that was a huge 1 for 4 as he had the 2 RBIs, the unearned runs in the third inning that got the Reds on the board at 2-0 lead. And then Candelario, 1 for 4. Fraley, 1 for 3. Dela Cruz, 1 for 4. Steer, 1 for 4. This guy's batting 435 on the season. I think he had like 6 RBIs in the series. Thompson, 0 for 1. Or I'm sorry, 0 for 0. And then Martini with 1 for 4 as well with an RBI. So they're your offensive stalwarts for the Reds and the Phillies. Pitching-wise, Zach Wheeler gets the loss tonight. He's now 0-1. Went 6 very, very strong, effective, not dominant, but effective innings. Only gave up 3 hits, 3 runs. One of those runs was earned, walked 1, and struck out 10. Marte, Soto, and Nelson clanked and clawed their way through the rest of this game, scattering 1 run and what's that? 5 strikeouts. So Phillies finished on the night 15 strikeouts as a pitching staff. They struck out 15 Reds tonight and only gave up 1 walk. Very encouraging numbers. As for the Reds, Frankie Montes gets the win. He's now 2-0. He went 5.5. Gave up 5 hits, 1 run. It was earned, struck out 5, and walked 3. Wilson, Sims, Cruz, and Diaz, who comes on for the save, his first of the year. And that is your pitching breakdown and your offensive breakdown for this game. Scoring-wise, Strand got things going for the Reds in the third as he, the inning was kind of prolonged by the starter. He doubles the deep left, scoring Jonathan India and Martini to make it 2-0. Dela Cruz in the 6th Dela Cruz in the 6th would double in Fraley to make it 3-0. Kyle Schwarber would get things going for the Phillies a little bit in the 6th inning, making it 3-1. And then Martini with some insurance in the 9th, 4-1, a single, scoring Thompson. And that is how your scoring, your pitching, and your offense all kind of came into play tonight in this game. And don't forget that segment on the program was brought to you by the good folks over at Dolan's. Make sure you're keeping the date May 25th on your calendar clear, because that is when Wiffle Ball Mania will kick back in as the Crucker, along with Mickey Morandini, will be in appearance for the annual Wiffle Ball Mania down there at Dolan's in, where's it, Delaware? No, it's in Ridley Park. Yeah, so make sure you're checking that out. But yeah, so Phillies 4-1. There were a couple of turning points for me in this game that we're going to get to in a little bit, but let's field some more of these great comments. A wedding at the bank, huh? Were they going to get married on the pitcher's mound? I mean, is that the thing? How much does that cost? Really? Do the guests sit in the stands? Do you have hot dogs for your reception? I mean, listen, I'm not bagging on it. Could somebody invite me to that? Whose wedding is that? Does anybody know out there who's getting married tomorrow at Citizen Bank Park? Because I'd love to attend. I'd love to see what that's all about, man. Do they come out of the dugout? Does the preacher come running in from the bullpen? I mean, how does that all work, man? That's awesome. A wedding at the bank. Woo! Bet you it costs the bank, too. Thank you, Al, for that little bit of insight. Someone booked a wedding, and Rudy Poo kind of chiming into it with the wedding. Yeah, it is crazy, man. It is crazy. Maddie, it is typical Philly bat, swing at everything off the plate and stare at everything in the zone. And that's what Rob Thompson, and, I remember back in November when the season came to a very halting end, and Rob Thompson made us a promise. At least I heard him make a promise. Maybe that's what I was wishing for him to do, was make me a promise that he was going to work on those things in the spring, that he was going to go down to Clearwater and they were going to kind of work on plate discipline, plate approach, hitting with, more contact type hitting, kind of working what pitchers give them, taking what pitchers give them, understanding the situation on the base pads, saying, you know what, I don't need to swing for the fences. I just need a single here. Rob Thompson promised me, at least again, I thought that's what he said. And I know he wasn't speaking directly to me. Sometimes I think he is, but in this case, I know he wasn't. But I just understood. I took that as that's what was going to happen. And so far this season, the Phillies have not done that. The 6 RBI performance from Bryce Harper last night, that was huge. That was a huge boost for the offense. But aside from that, those 6 runs that he helped produce out of the 9 they scored last night, the Phillies have scored 25 runs so far this season. Take 6 off the ledger there, that's 19 runs. 19 runs in 6 games, right? And if you do the quick fuzzy, that's a little bit more than 3 runs a game. That's not going to do it. That is not going to do it. And again, we're not, it's the whole, we got to understand what's happening on the base paths. And aside from what Bryce Harper gave us last night, the rest of the offense has produced 19 runs through 6 games. That is not good. Now, what is different from last year is the Phillies were scoring a ton of runs early in the season. They were giving up a ton of runs too. And that's kind of where they ended up falling off to 1-5. But this year, they're not scoring enough. There's not enough sustained offense. There's not enough of what Rob Thompson promised Matty B personally last November when he left the court there at the bank and said, sorry that we didn't do what we had to do, but we'll get better next year, I promise. Again, that's what I thought he said. Now, if he didn't say that, and if I'm just imagining that, I'll buy that too. But that's what I heard. That's what I heard. Zach says, is Kevin Long on the hook for these reoccurring stretches of the team not hitting quite? Why would Kevin Long be on the hook for that? Right? Why are we going to go back down the Eagle? Is this the Eagles mentality with coaching? Why the hell are you going to blame the coordinator or the assistant coach or the hitting coach? Isn't the manager or the head coach the first head on the block? Shouldn't that be the person that really ultimately is responsible for all of this nonsense? It's the manager. So Kevin Long, K-Long, K-Dog, whatever the hell they call him, is he responsible? Yeah. But ultimately, is the player responsible? Yeah. But so is the manager. So I don't throw me a sacrificial lamb for Kevin Long. Hold Rob Thompson accountable. That's who I want to see held, because it all kind of, what rolls downhill, right? We all know that. That's how it goes. And, so last time I checked, the manager was above the hitting coach. But something's got to change. I agree. An approach issue, we're doing the same thing. We're doing the same thing. Yeah, I would be there in a heartbeat, Dave. I would love, do you need a ticket? Is that how it works? Is there like ushers in the front? Like, are they going to pat you down? You can't bring a person? Not that I carry purses, but what is the setup like? Is there a guy selling beer in the stands? Is the Fanatic there? What is this? Somebody tell me what this is all about. I want to go. I want to see this. I feel like these guys are so old. Like, man, they look old and slow. Yeah, they did. And again, the weather didn't help. But I'm not a big fan of blaming the weather at all. This was just a bad game. A bad game that had multiple. The Phillies. Again, going back to the box score, I didn't give you these. I'm sorry, I'm negligent. That's probably why, because I never host by myself anymore. I don't know how to do this. But the Phillies, some of the team issues they had. They left 8 on base tonight. 8. They were only 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position, which is not that bad. They didn't really have too many runners in scoring position. They did have Castellanos get what he got picked off, caught in a rundown. Once again, over aggressiveness on the base pads, very similar to what it was like at the beginning of last season. And they also committed 2 more errors on the season. So kind of look at some season numbers in a glance, because I keep them here, and I know we're only 6 games in, but as I mentioned, the trends, right? Phillies have stolen 8 bases so far this year, so a little over 1 a game, but they've given up 7. They've committed 5 errors so far in the season. They were going pretty good. They had the error on opening day by Turner. They didn't have an error until last night. They had 2, and today they have 2 more, so now they're up to 5 on the year. They've had 4 errors committed against them. They've hit 8 home runs. They've given up 6. Phillies pitching struck out 72 batters. That's like 12 a game. The Philly pitching staff is mowing down an average of 12 batters a game. But the Phillies themselves have struck out 54 times, an average of 9 a game. That's a funny, interesting number, because that's exactly what their season average was last year, 9 strikeouts a game. Phillies pitching has only given up 15 walks, 2.5 a game. Definitely can live with that number. And the Phillies have worked close to 4 walks a game, 23 on the season. They've, but now here's where we get into some of the kind of interesting stuff. The Phillies have gotten 43 hits so far. That's over 7 a game. That's okay in Major League Baseball. I can live with 7 hits a game. You're going to score runs. You should score runs hitting, getting 7 hits a game. But they've given up 62 hits. So that's 10 a game. So they're getting 7 hits a game, but they're allowing 10 a game. Again, doesn't balance out. They're 9 for 41 with runners in scoring position. That average is nosediving now down to 219. I expect it to kind of hang out around there for a while. They've left 37 runners on base so far through 6 games. 37 runners, so a little over 6 a game. That number sucks, and that was 6.4 last year on the season. But their opponents have stranded 36 runners on base for 6 a game. The Phillies have scored 25 runs, minus the 6 that Bryce Harper was accounted for yesterday. That brings it down to 19. But using the 25 as the actual number, because that's what it is, they're averaging a little over 4 runs a game. That is not enough. That is not enough in Major League Baseball. It's got to be 5 or above. It's got to be 5 or above. And they've given up 39 runs, which is a whopping 6.5 runs a game. So a lot of contradicting stats happening, a lot of interesting offensive contradictions with their stats. And it's frustrating. It's very, very frustrating so far this season. If I was at my wedding, if it was my wedding, I would be like, hell yeah, let's have the wedding during a game. Yeah, but listen, I would feel that a wedding during the game would be too rushed. You know what I mean? Like, what are you going to do it in the 7th inning stretch? I like the concept of, you know what, during BP, let's do it during batting practice. You know, that would be cool. Have the whole team there. You know, it's kind of intimate. You know, you don't have to dodge too many baseballs, and it should be okay. But the whole concept is pretty cool. Like, what is this? Seriously, I want to know. I want to know. Can somebody get me the number of the person I can call down there at Citizen Bank Park and schedule Matty B's wedding at the bank? Because boy, that's a bucket list thing. Hey, maybe can you give me a shout out to our Faith? She made herself. Oh, congratulations, Faith. Here's to another season in the sun. Congratulations. If I tell you what, Marsh might have just lost some points on being an everyday player with that bases loaded choke job. Marsh is the choke job artist of the night, but it is not the only choke job of the Phillies this evening. And now that's a perfect segue to my very first solo, Broad Street Bottom Line. All right, the Broad Street Bottom Line brought to you folks tonight on the program by our newest sponsor down there at the Streetlight Kitchen and Bar, 5400 Ferne Blvd, Drexel Hill, PA, at the Holiday Inn Suites and the Drexel Brook, or at the Drexel Brook Event Center. Remember, we will be doing multiple pre- and post-game live shows there. Our first one will be this Sunday at April 7th at 11. Hang out with us for the P and the M show and the AM, that little thing. That's going to happen in the morning, and then we're going to go live around 11 with the pregame. Hang out with us for that. Hang out with us for the actual game. Hang out with us for postgame. This will be the first of multiple events that we'll be having there. Obviously, we want to welcome the Streetlight to the family. And again, I go back to the fact that I raised this show as a baby. I gave birth to this show. And to see it now going off on its first date with the Streetlight, it makes a dad proud. It does. I'm very proud of its accomplishments. But yet, I wish it would return my phone calls every now and again. You know, just come on, man, give old dad a shout out, right? You know, just a phone call every now and again. Just tell me you're doing okay. But no, it's going to be great fun. Can't wait. I will be on the call with Al that day. So you get to come down and meet us. And then we have also a cool thing happening at that game. We will be giving away tickets to an upcoming Phillies game. And I've been told these are choice seats to a choice game. They're owned by EOP's Joey Sheeran. He gave them up so they could be auctioned off at this event or given away at this event. I believe there's no money involved, and they can be given away at this event. So make sure you're definitely in attendance. Everybody in attendance will have a chance. And that means here's a concept for you. If you have like 9 kids, why don't you bring you and your 9 kids there, and they could all potentially, I don't know if there's an age restriction. I don't think there is, but this kind of just dawned on me this morning as I was laying in a dark room by myself. if you have like 9 kids, bring them there, and you have like 10 chances to win those tickets. Stuff the ballot box, so to speak. So yeah, bring the family on down. It should be great fun. But let's get back to the Broad Street bottom line, because I had 2 candidates tonight for the Broad Street bottom line. I was hedging towards what happened in the 3rd inning, and then let's remind everybody about that 3rd inning. Wheeler would kind of breeze through the first 2 innings. Got the first out in the 3rd, then the Strand double, or I should say, yeah. Why am I reading this wrong? There we go. Let's go from the top. I'm reading it the wrong way. Martini was safe to lead off the inning with the error from Stott. And then Stevenson would strike out. India got hit by the pitch, so they had first and second. Then Benson grounded out to first. So they moved the runners up to second and third. And then the double, which made it 2-0. I really thought that was the moment I was going to go for, because I thought that's, with the way the offense was going, I thought that might have been like the dagger for the Phillies. But I was wrong, because the Phillies said, hold my beer, because they gave me something to go for. And this is what my Broad Street bottom line in this game is. It's the Phillies bottom of the 6th. You get a shot in the arm with Schwarber leading off the inning with the home run. Then you got Turner striking out. You got Harper grounds out to the pitcher. But then the Phillies get a little thing going. They got Realmuto, who singles to center. Stott walks, moves Realmuto to second. Then Castellanos does something he never does. He walks, right? We got the bases loaded. And then Brandon Marsh fouls out the 3rd to end the inning. That, to me, was the game, set, and match. And that was also a encapsulation of the Phillies' early season offensive problems. So that is my Broad Street bottom line on this game, is the Phillies' bottom of the 6th inning, when they had a golden opportunity, riding some momentum, a Kyle Schwarber leadoff home run. They went down the next 2, but then they loaded the bases, and Brandon Marsh fouls out the 3rd to end the inning. And that was really that was my moment. That was the moment I knew this game was not going to end well. And then they were going to lose. So there you go. There's my Broad Street bottom line here on the show. And that was my first one. How did I do, folks? This is a brand new segment that we started. I want to know how I did. Did I do well on the Broad Street bottom line? Please send me your comments right now. I won't be able to sleep tonight unless I find out. So that was the Broad Street bottom line. But yeah. All right. Before we go to the next segment, which will be the Round the Base segment, let's take a look at some more of these comments that are rolling in and keep them going. Yeah, that might be talking about. Oh, I know the person. Well, let me know who it is, because I kind of have a girlfriend. She's all right. Yeah, I live with her. It's a weird thing, but she might be down to getting married. I don't know. Can we do does it have to be a real marriage? Like, can we fake it? Like, do I have to produce paperwork or anything, like a marriage license or anything? Can I just say I want to get married and have my own people come down there and marry me? Or do I have to produce some like proof that I'm actually married? So if then that changes things. All right. Isn't Marshall one of the few actually hitting, though? He is. He is actually hitting. But you know what, Zach? In the case of tonight, it's not how much you hit, it's where you hit. We talked about this earlier in the show. It's understanding your situations on the bases. It's understanding where you're at. He was trying to club. Have you noticed that he was way behind on the swing, and he was top swinging? He wasn't swinging down on the ball. He wasn't trying to get the ball on the ground. He was trying to put the ball in the air. That's why he popped up the 3rd. So I get it. Marsh is the ones that are hitting. But my point at the top of this show was, I was told, not personally, but I was told that we were going to be better with situational hitting, with understanding, taking what the defense was giving to us. Marsh was trying to make it what? He was trying to make it 5-3 Phillies. All I needed him to do was make it 3-2 Reds. That's all I needed him to do. He was tomahawking at that ball. He wasn't trying to hit what the pitching or defense was giving him. He was going for the bleachers, i.e. like the NLCS. So you're right. Marsh is one of the ones that have been hitting. But the approach is my issue. The approach. And that's the case with a lot of these guys to start the season. Their approach is wrong. So that's why Marsh gets my Broad Street bottom line. Top or left, Marsh faced the lefty and he choked it. Again, I think he choked it, or he was trying to choke it. One or the other. True, I say the Bohm. True, and I did say Bohm should have pinch hitter there. I don't know about pinch hitter. I mean, who are you bringing off the bench to pinch hit? Wasn't Merrifield already in the game, right? Who are we bringing in? I mean, we could have brought Bowman in that situation, but you're going to burn Bowman in the 6th inning. You know, I mean, who else are you going to bring in there? I don't know. I'm not upset at all that Marsh had the chance because he's one of our hottest hitters. Reward that, but have a proper at bat, and that's my issue. It's not the fact that he was, the situation wasn't right. Again, this whole lefty righty analytic crap, I'm getting so pissed off about. Which is it? Are we going analytics or are we going whatever? But yeah, no, I don't disagree with the matchup. I just disagree with the approach. I've never seen a team more pop-ups than this team. I mean, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Pops up and heavy win remind me of Freddie Freeman saying, "There's win, boys. There's win." Precedes me as the pop-up. Yep, times. All right. So before we go round the bases, I do want to address 2 more things. Earlier in the show here, there was a comment about Johan Rojas about basically sending him away, right? And I agree with that to a couple degrees. The other day, was it the final game against the Braves? The reason why Johan Rojas is on this roster was evident in that my Broad Street bottom line from that game, even though I wasn't on the show. That was the fielder's choice that got the rally started. And it was the fielder's choice generated by his legs. That is why he's in the lineup. He's not in the lineup to hit 300. He's actually probably not even in the lineup to hit average. He's in the lineup to get things going. Now, granted, he's not been doing that. But we saw when it works, it's extremely beneficial to the offense. It preserves innings. It keeps things moving. So, but that alone is not the reason that he needs to stay here. I agree. He needs to provide more to the table, and he does with his defense. And right now, the Phillies value the defense more than they value his bat, and that's just the bottom line. They'll take what they can get from him. He tried to bunt. Well, last night he was trying to bunt up there. He couldn't do that right either. But you're going to see a lot of that. But that's why Johan Rojas is here. And there's no other better options in center field right now. We don't have anybody better every day. We can't. Center field's a problem. We got some players that are developing, but Justin Crawford ain't going to be here for at least another 2 or 3 years. So they're going to have to find a way to kind of bridge that gap. Now, is that through free agency or potential trade? I don't know. But they're going to give this Rojas thing a chance because what he provides with his speed and his defense, that's 2 pluses against 1 minus, which is his offense. So I'm not going out there and buying my Rojas jersey anytime soon. But I'm not quite ready to bury the guy because I think there's a plan for him here. And I know what that plan is. And we've already seen that plan kind of unfold itself on Sunday. So we got to kind of just take that for what it is. And when those moments do arise, when he needs to preserve an inning or get something going in an inning, and he lays down that drag bunt, hopefully successfully, we'll see it. Then he swipes second. Maybe he swipes third and potentially scores on a suicide squeeze or potentially steals home. And then all of a sudden, it's the best thing since sliced bread. There's a plan for him, and that plan is not to hit 300. That plan is not to hit 12, 15 home runs or even drive in 40 runs. The plan is to get on base or extend innings offensively and provide elite-level defense because we don't have anybody who can provide the elite-level defense in center field. We just don't have that, and we don't have enough of it. Christian Pache, yeah, he's a good little kind of change of pace guy, but he's got his problems too. So center field's a problem with this team. It is. It's straight up a problem. But it's going to get worked out eventually. So I wanted to address the Johan Rojas thing, and I also want to address the strike zone. Yeah, that's right. Matty B is going to talk a little bit on the soap opera. Then we'll get to the round the bases, I promise. I'm using this opportunity because I've only hosted the show once or twice so far, and this is only my first solo. Have I mentioned that yet? But there's been a lot of Nick Castellanos specifically has been the benefactor of some interesting blown calls by the umpires throughout this 6-game homestand. One of them happened tonight where a high pitch right down the middle was in the box thing there, and it was called a ball. Then there was the pitch on, was it Saturday, that really caused the Phillies to score additional runs that they probably never would have scored if it wasn't given that same type of scenario, a pitch up in the zone, which was called a ball. That looked like, because it hit the box, it was a strike. And then I'm hearing a lot of griping and groaning on the telecast about some pitches around the corners outside the little box being called balls. Listen, folks, do I need to remind everybody that box is not the official Major League strike zone? You guys know that, right? That is a computer-generated graphic that's not sanctioned by Major League Baseball. It's not. It's sanctioned by the networks and the people that put them together. And they're based on an algorithm of players' tendencies of both their history with that pitcher and then their pitching history and their hitting history. It's a big analytical bejumble. It is not the real strike zone. So a ball on the corner of that box, you don't know if it's a ball or strike because you're not standing behind the plate. All right. Don't take that goddamn box as gospel. It's not. It's not meant to be taken that way. But these armchair Major League Baseball umpires or these armchair fans who want to think they know what they're talking about are getting all up in arms because the ball was, it's outside the box. That box doesn't mean nothing. It's a graphic. It's eye candy for the telecast. It is not officially sanctioned by Major League Baseball. What will be officially sanctioned by Major League Baseball will be their own creation, that robo-ump thing. Whenever they get around to doing that, that's what they're going to use. They're not using the box from the networks. That's not a officially sanctioned strike zone. I would prefer to take it the hell down. I watched baseball for the first 30 years of my life, 35, 40 years of my life without that damn box there, and it was totally fine. That box ruins the game because it's not gospel. It is not the friggin' strike zone. It's a graphic based on averages, tendencies, trends, and analytics. It is not the strike zone. The strike zone is the 27-inch plate along with the black, and it's down to the hollow of the knees and up to the numbers. That's the strike zone, folks. That's the official Major League Baseball strike zone, not some box, all right? That's the official Major League strike zone. So I just wanted to air that out because I'm tired of listening to, oh, he blew that call. Oh, he screwed that up really royally because it didn't hit the box. The box is not gospel. It's a graphic. Ugh. Man. All right. Let's go around the bases here on the program. So you got me all now, you know what I'm looking at. All right, time to do some round the bases as we go through the scores on this Wednesday night in Major League Baseball. Let's talk about the games that are currently still in progress. It is 4-1 Dodgers over the Giants out there in LA. It is, and that is the only game that is currently in progress. So now let's talk about the games that are final. Wow, this is really quick. The Orioles over the Royals 4-3. 4-3. It was the Angels all over the Marlins 10-2. Marlins are 0-7. It was the Twins 7-3 over the Brewers. The Rangers 4-1 over the Rays. The Red Sox beat the A's. It was Rangers over the Rays. Red Sox beat the A's 1-0. The Yankees 6-5 winners against the Diamondbacks in 11. 8-0 Guardians over the Mariners. You know what, the hell with it. They're the Indians. The Indians beat the Mariners 8-0. The Padres beat the Cardinals 3-2, and it was 5-3. Nationals over Pirates. 9-8 Cubs over Rockies. Astros 8-0 winners over the Blue Jays. The White Sox and the Braves were postponed, and the Tigers and Mets were also postponed. And of course, your Phillies fell in magnanimous defeat tonight, 4-1 to the Reds. So that was your round the bases here on this Wednesday night in Major League Baseball. All right, the Round the Bases segment was brought to you by the people over at Sherry's Tickets. Looking for great prices, no hidden fees on sports, concert, and theater tickets? Look no further than sherrystickets.com at www.sherrytickets.com. Family owned and operated since 1946. And don't forget, you will save, that's right, you will save an additional 10% when you enter the promo code EOP10. So head over to Sherry's Ticket Town today and get the best prices and tickets. And while you're there, don't forget the good folks over at Phillies Sports Trips, because if you want to travel like the pros, you need to travel with Phillies Sports Trips. They got you covered for all four majors and I believe the Union. This summer, they got multiple things happening for the Phillies. This is one of the trips. They're heading to Baltimore. They're also going out to Wrigley around 4th of July weekend. They are also going to Boston around Father's Day weekend. And they are going to Pittsburgh at some time, I believe, in late July. So head over to the Philly Sports Trips, not only for the Phillies, but of course the Birds are taking over Brazil for the Eagles there. They're going to be down in Brazil for a week. And then they're also heading out to London for the Phillies Mets. But that thing has been sold out for a hot minute. But make sure you head over to Philly Sports Trips. And there you go. There's the Chicago graphic right there. That nothing to me sounds more American than being out at Wrigley Field on 4th of July, watching a baseball game, a Cubs game at Wrigley on 4th of July. Does that not like encapsulate everything that it's meant to be a proud American? Because to me it does. All right, before we wrap things up, and we've run a little late, but again, I've only hosted once, so you have to kind of bear with me. I had to get some things off my chest because I only hosted once so far this year. And Al's right, though. I do make the schedule, so I don't know why I'm bitching. But I do want to talk about one more segment that we are going to debut a little bit later on this season. This is going to be a segment that's dedicated to our minor league system. This is a prototype graphic called Down on the Phillies Farm. We will do a weekly, it'll be every Sunday. We will go around the minor leagues and we will talk about some of the great things that have happened over the week with all of our minor league affiliates. Try to kind of keep everybody informed of where the next generation of Phillies players are coming from. We're going to call it Down on the Phillies Farm. It'll be a weekly segment on Sundays that will highlight the farm system. And then basically I'll give you an idea what this will look like. Again, this is all prototypes. This is an example of how we'll do it. This is about the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs because currently they're the only team right now affiliate-wise that's playing. The others will start play on Friday, except for the FCL Phillies. They won't start till June. But we're basically going to wrap it up. So last week, or up to this point so far for the Pigs, they were 1-2. Overall, 1-2. The position player so far for the Pigs this week has been Cody Clemens. In 3 games, 12 at-bats, 4 hits, 3 runs, a homer, and 2 RBIs for Cody as he's getting off to a hot start down there in Lehigh. And the pitcher of the week is Tyler Phillips. 1 game started. He had a win. He went 6 very strong innings. He only gave up a hit, 1 run, and struck out 6. And some of the notes of the week were Rodolfo Castro would walk off a 3-run home run in the opener for the Pigs back last Friday. So this is, again, we're going to do this for all the teams in some way, shape, or form as we get things rolling. Look for this segment to be a regular part of our Sunday shows around the beginning of May. We're going to let everybody kind of get their feet under them, get things rolling a little bit before we start doing that. But that is going to be another segment that's going to come out here in about a month. So be on the lookout for that as we continuously are trying to push the limit here on the Fightins final. So yeah, and let's check out some more of these. Saw that one already. The one minus of the Rojas situation is an automatic out in the lineup. You're okay with that? I didn't say I was okay with that. You misunderstood what I said, Dave. All right, I said what he brings to the plate on this team. The three things that he brings, in my opinion, is elite level defense, speed, and offense. Right. He obviously does one of them really bad, which is offense. He does the other 2 really, really good. Now, the speed part could help his offense. I'm not looking at him to bash the ball around the field. I'm looking at him to drop the ball down in front of the plate and burn up the line. He's got to make some sort of contact. An automatic out, you're absolutely 100% right. He does seem to be that way. But I need his glove. I desperately need his glove in center field, and I desperately need his speed. So I will work with the one thing, which is the offense that needs some work. I will work with him to try to get that offense to where I need him to be the most productive. And that is all I need is bat to ball. Now, whether or not the Phillies identify that and whether or not the Phillies put him in situations where they can benefit from his speed offensively remains to be seen. But to me, right now, there's nothing else in the system right now that's ready in center field that could provide the type of defense that Rojas could provide. So yes, I am saying that I will accept the automatic out thing along with the other 2 right now. Bad jumble. What the hell does that mean, man? Is it the name of the person? Old man yells at cloud. Yeah, shut up, man. Man, shut up. Breathe heavy, Matty B. It's only is. No, it's a stupid box. I'm tired of people getting their friggin' dander in a bind over a graphic that has no solicitation value, no value at all to Major League. The guys in New York are not looking at that box saying, you know what, that was a ball, fire that guy. It's not what that is. There's another thing that they use that they're seeing something from a different angle, the right angle, the angle from behind the plate, which is the best angle going, to judge whether or not that's a ball or strike. But people getting so perturbed over, oh my, it's outside the box, it was a strike, or that was a ball because it was outside the box, or it clipped that little edge of the box, it's a strike. It's ridiculous. The strike zone is the hollow part of the knee to the numbers. That is the strike zone. And then, of course, all the white part of home plate to include the black, the little black borderline at the end. That, my friends, is the strike zone, not that box. Get rid of it, please. Hey, Matt, how about Ricardo Pinto yesterday? That was an awesome save, and his day was, of course, interesting day. They were in Rochester, the Fightins, the Pigs, and then they sent a car for him. Now, I know the route that they took. They went up the Blue Route, up the Northeast Extension, got on 81 North, took that up to Syracuse, jumped on 90 West, headed out to Rochester, picked him up, and then turned around and came. It's a lot of driving, man, to get him to a game. And I heard he showed up in the 4th inning and then ran right out to the bullpen and comes in and pitches 3 amazing innings to get a save. Now, that's the way, that's baptism by fire at its best. And that's, you know what? That's an opportunity that the kid took. I mean, he's been in and out of the major leagues the last few seasons. He knows that he's running out of chances. He had a chance yesterday, and he wasn't going to say, I'm not ready. He was going to jump in there and give it his best. That had a lot. That's a big character thing for me. So, yeah, it was awesome. Not just what he did on the field, but what he did to get on the field was pretty impressive. Zach says, Matty confirmed, box hater. Box, you're damn right. Damn right. You said Bajumbled. Oh, I said Bajumbled? Okay, I don't even know. I don't even know anymore what I say. All right, listen, folks, that's going to wrap me up. Again, I ran a little late because have I mentioned the fact that I've never hosted yet on my own? This is my first time. And have I also mentioned the fact that this show was my baby? That's right. I bore it. I saw it through its first tentative days and nights and months. I took it all the way to the World Series, its first year of life. And then it was just snatched away from me. I had to bring on other people. Other people had to help out. Yeah, because I couldn't do it on my own. And then now I'm relegated to like the 6th game of the year. That's my job now. I'm the guy that wraps up the end of a homestand in the middle of a rainstorm, a game that should have happened 7 hours ago. I'm that guy now. I'm that guy. So that's gratitude right there for you, man. You know, but that's what happens when the children grow up, man. They don't need you anymore until they need you. That's right, until they need you. But listen. Tomorrow, the Phillies will get a much-needed day off as they will have a reset day to try to get their heads right before heading over to D.C. on Friday to start a 3-game set with those Nationals. First pitch on Fridays at 6:45. Aaron Nola will look to get his season back on track as he will face Patrick Corbin at 6:45. Phillies Nationals in D.C. On Friday night to start a 3-game set, which, of course, is our another big day for us here on the Fightins Final, as Sunday, April 7th, the final game of that 3-game set, we will be bringing you live pre- and post-game show from the Streetlight Kitchen and Bar, 5400 Ferne Blvd in Drexel Hill, PA. I get to be on the show, so I should be happy. They're letting me co-host. So please come out and see me. It might be the last time all year that you see me. And also during that show, we'll be giving away some tickets, some choice tickets, choice seating, and a really good opponent. So make sure you're there. You come out to the Streetlight on Sunday, April 7th, and check out the first of multiple live events we'll have with our new sponsors. So we're looking forward to that, actually. Really, really looking forward to that. Your thoughts on Harper's Grand Slam? To get his first 3 hits of the season to be all 3 home runs and then that Grand Slam. I already kind of talked to you about how it kind of looked like it kind of like puts a Band-Aid on some of the offensive struggles of this team, because you take away those 6 RBIs. The Phillies have only actually generated 19 of their own runs, which is not good. It's a little bit over 3 a game, and that's part of the problem why they're struggling. But no, listen, for him to have been struggling out of the gate that he has, to come out with a night like that, it's amazing. I mean, Harper's I said this in one of my articles. He's a gift from the baseball gods. I don't deny that. He is. He's another level. He is the guy you need on your team to win a World Series. You need a Bryce Harper. And yesterday was an amazing. What was really amazing was, I guess, on one of his home runs. I don't know which one it was, but it was his 1,000th run scored too. And I saw something on the Google thing today. I guess a kid had gotten the ball from an adult who gave the kid the ball, but then obviously the Phillies people tracked him down in the stands, brought the kid and his friends down the field, gave the ball back to Bryce Harper. Harper gave the kid a signed ball and posed for a picture. I understand you got to do what you got to do to get that ball back. It's the 1,000th run scored ball. It's pretty important, but that's pretty cool, man. That really is cool. And it's really, really cool is that an adult gave the kid the ball that he caught. That's very, very cool. So, we need Harper to be Bryce Harper, right? We need him to be that. I'm not saying he needs to hit 3 home runs again, because if we're relying on that, then it's going to be a long year. But Bryce Harper needs to be that bigger than life presence. We talked about it heading into the season. First full year of first base. He had a full healthy training camp. I know he had some issues with his back there at the end. Didn't hit well down there in spring. Didn't start the season out hitting well. But those 3 home runs were a great sign. But now we need it from everybody else. Now we need everybody else to kind of start putting the ball out there and kind of putting the ball between the fielders, getting some more runs, generating something. Because as I said, 24 runs scored, take away 25 runs, take away 6, 19. That's not cutting it. And they need more from more people. But it was great. And Harper is as I mentioned, gift from the baseball gods. No doubt about that. But it was awesome stuff to see. But folks, that is going to wrap me up. A long show tonight, 56 minutes. So sorry about that. No, I'm not. So again, I don't get chances like this anymore. I'm yesterday's newspapers, man. But I want to remind everybody that all this stuff, and I'm kidding. I love working, being part of this. What we've done with this show over the last 3 years is absolutely amazing. The people that we work with here on the show, that I work with now, is absolutely amazing. We've taken this thing from, we're taking it from let's see if it works to this is one of the hot hitters. So I couldn't be prouder of what the Fighting's Final is right now, and I know there's more work to be done too. So we're going to get bigger. We're going to get really bigger. So bring it on. I love it. I love working with the guys, and I enjoy it every day. But I'm reminding everybody that the show was brought to you tonight by Sherry's Tickets. Great ticket prices. Dave Cherry, Dolan's down there in Ridley Park, and Philly Sports Trips. So, and of course, our newest sponsor, the Streetlight Kitchen and Bar, down there at 5400 Ferne Blvd in Drexel Hill. Folks, that's it. I can't even play the song tonight. But anyway, we'll catch you guys next time. Let me show you what the lineup is for the Nats. So here you go. Here's your Nationals lineup. Friday night will be Mike. Saturday will be Pat. And I mentioned me and Al will finish it up on Sunday at our live broadcast from the Streetlight. So make sure you're tuning in all weekend long, as we got you covered. And of course, we got you also covered with the Clear the Ice program. As Friday, me and Pat will be taking you through the Sabres. And then on Saturday, it'll be Mike and Al. So busy here on the program, but would not have it any other way. Phillies fall tonight 4-1. That's going to wrap me up. You guys take care. We'll talk to you again on Friday.